Welcome back to my workshop. Now today's quick video, I'm going to attempt to rescue this duck. At the moment it looks more like a dead chicken. Okay, this is a little wooden duck that should look like this. Now obviously this has been oiled and it's very nice. This has been left out in a garden and it's dead. Okay, so what I need to do is treat this, rescue this, fix its feet. Let's see how we get on. Right, so let's have a look at this poor little fella. Right, basically it's been sitting out in the garden for a year or so, a couple of years. There's no oil left in this wood at all. It's actually started to crack and it's very rough. Okay, it should look like this. Okay, I mean you can see the difference. Okay, also his shoes have come off, which are these fellas. It's got a few holes in it. Obviously his laces have disappeared and they're just generally in a poor state. Now the moisture content in this is bone dry, 6%. Yeah, so it's really dry. So I'm quite happy to oil this and hopefully I'll be able to rescue it. So I think the first thing I need to do is give this a good sanding down. What I'm going to use is just one of these foamy sanding pads. I'm going to get it as smooth as I can, and then I'm going to give it a coat of TeakOil, okay, because it's probably going to end up back outside. But I'll probably give it 2 or 3 coats of this. But the first thing I've got to do is start sanding. Right, so I've now given this a jolly good sanding. It's still a bit rough in places, but I think that's actually the grain of the wood. I don't know what kind of wood this is, but some bits of it do actually look like a chicken's arse. Okay, but this is now smooth. I'm going to now sand the little boots. Okay, the boots are obviously painted, so I'm going to use something a bit more industrial and get all the paint off these and then get them nice and smooth and then repaint them. Right, so I've sanded off his first boot. I've just got this one to do now, and then I can sort out what I'm going to do with the laces. Right, sand this one. Right, so next little thing I want to do, where these laces used to be, they've literally just rotted away. So what I want to do is get rid of all the old laces so I can then put some new ones in. What I'm going to do is take my little rotary tool here. It's got a little drill bit on the end, and I'm going to literally drill them out. Just like that. Okay, I'll carry on doing that. Also what I want to do is put a little bit of wood filler in this gap here because it looks quite nasty. And for that I'm just going to use some of this. Okay, but first of all let's get rid of these laces. Okay, so the shoes are all ready now. All the laces are missing. I've got my wood filler in now, wait for that to dry probably and then give it a sand. So now what I want to do is get some TeakOil on this because I need to leave that overnight to dry. So what I need to do, put on a pair of gloves. Right, I accidentally managed to spill a little bit of teak oil on the shoes here. I've dried it off as much as I can, but basically I want them blue, so I'm going to use some of this, which is just normal all-purpose gloss blue paint. Let's give these a little bit of a spray. Again, might have to give these quite a few coats. Okay, so the duck has now had its first coat of teak oil. My shoes are now blue. They've got to have another coat. I'm going to leave this overnight. I don't know if you can see from there, but the duck has absorbed all of that oil straight away. So I'm going to wait for that to dry, probably leave it overnight, and then give it a little sand down and then a second coat. That'll do for tonight. Right, so I left this overnight and it's literally absorbed every single bit of that oil. It's so super dry. So I've got to give this another coat and then put another coat of blue paint on the shoes. How much is this going to drink? Right, duck is oiled, shoes are painted. Let's leave that overnight again. Right, so we're a week later now. Every single night I've been giving this a coat of teak oil. So that's had 4 coats of teak oil, and every night I've left it to dry. And then I've given it 2 coats of Danish oil, leaving each one to dry overnight. It's now like this, okay? It's just absorbing so much oil. But I think that's going to do now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to buff it off and then give it a coat of beeswax, okay, and then leave it at that. Then I can get onto the shoes. Right, got a coat of wax on that now. I'm just going to wait for that to dry and then buff that off. So now I can concentrate on the shoes. Now what I've got to do is I've got to do a couple of things here. I've got to redraw on the sole around there and around the heel. And also I've got to put some laces in it. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to use some of this stuff, which is paracord. It's just like a black string. It's got like a nylon inside. And all I've got to do is cut some small lengths of this. So let's cut a small length. This is my template. So I cut some section of that, just with scissors. And then, of course, it frays at the end. Let's see if I can get you to focus on this. Here you go. It frays on the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly heat that with one of these. Just quickly heat the end and then pinch it to a point. Then the same again on this side. So this is like a nylon, so it's very sticky and it's very hot on your fingers. Okay, let's turn that off. Okay, so that gives us this little fella. I'm going to focus on that. So then all I have to do is I'm going to put a little bit of super glue or a bit of CA glue into these holes, and then basically put the laces in like that. Okay, so there'll be a lace in each of these lot of holes on both shoes. Yeah, and that'll be the shoes almost finished. Okay, so the CA glue I'm going to use for this is this Starbond medium. I'll try and leave a link to this if I can down in the description. Excellent CA glue. This time I'm going to use it without using the activator. It might give me a little bit more time to fiddle about. So literally all I'm going to do, put a little dab in the hole, little dab in this hole, and then stick my lace in. Okay, that's the first one. Just got another 11 to do. Excellent. Right, so that was the most difficult pair of laces I've ever had to do up. Right, for the sole and the heel, what I'm doing is I'm using one of these, which is just an acrylic paint marker. Okay, it's just basically paint in a pen, and then all I'm doing is literally colouring in around the bottom, and then what I'll do is I'll give it a coat of lacquer afterwards. Okay, so I won't show you this because it's just like watching paint dry. I'll show you when I'm finished. That'll be all right. Right, okay, so now the soles are done. That was just done with the acrylic paint pen. What I'm going to do now is give them a quick coat of clear lacquer. It's just automotive clear lacquer, just to give them some protection. Literally just a dusting. I'm hoping this will protect them. Right, hopefully that'll be all right. Right, let's start buffing off the duck. Ooh. Right, it seems to have buffed up quite well with the wax. Because it's a very special duck, I'm going to give it one of my little tokens here. But what I want to do is drill a couple of holes in it and then put a little bit of black ribbon on it around its neck. So let's drill a couple of holes in this. Right, so that's it. That's this little fella all finished. He's got his nice shiny boots on now with his new laces. He's got his nice little necklace. And I've managed to get so much oil and wax onto the body. I managed to salvage the original wood. So he's now looking good, looking well swish. So at least can go back to his mummy and daddy now, and hopefully they won't leave it in the garden this time. Right, that's it from me today, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye. This duck. 1, 2, 3. Oh. And the wood is all nice and moisturised and lovely and blah, 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 blah.